Coming up, Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria goes tough on 7,912 Nigerians owing 4.4 trillion naira as deadline expires today. An international oil benchmark, Brent crude rises to $80 per barrel mark. And Toyota overtakes General Motors as best-selling automaker in the US. And concerns mount in business communities as Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes found guilty of criminal fraud. Glad to have you join us, and here are some of the business stories making headlines at this hour. I am Frank Omalape. Now, the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria is set to publish the names of 7,912 debtors owing it a total of 4.4 trillion naira. The move follows the expiration of the 30-day ultimatum given by the National Assembly to debtors to regularize their debt status with the bad debt manager. The one-month notice elapses today. The agency revealed it had no choice but to obey the directive of the National Assembly asking it to publish the names of debtors who have refused to repay their loans. The spokesperson for AFCOM, Jude Nwauzo, emphasized debtors who were yet to provide the repayment proposal risk having their details published in the media after a 30-day grace period given by the National Assembly. Away from there now, the Securities and Exchange Commission has begun collection of income tax on bonds and short-term assets. This came after a 2012 verdict that exempted bonds and short-term securities from company income tax for the previous 10 years. In 2012, the federal government attended a tax exemption to all bonds and debt instruments issued by all levels of government and corporations. However, the timing may raise questions. Some experts believe it may discourage investors from entering a space that has been facing liquidity challenges. Nevertheless, SEC has reminded all fund managers that they must pay the commission an annual supervisory charge. And in the same vein, the Nigeria's Apex Capital Market Regulator, Securities and Exchange Commission, has also described the operations of Africa Investment Limited and Chimac Group as illegal, warning the investment public against dealing with the two firms. In a circular, SEC stated that its attention had been drawn to activities of an illegal operator, Africa Investment Limited, which claimed to be an investment company that engages in business development in commercial sectors of the economy and uses the funds in entities under Chimac Group. According to the Commission, neither Africa Investment Limited nor Chimac Group is registered by the Commission, and the investment schemes being promoted by these entities are also not authorized by the SEC. And now President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Dr. Doyin Salami as Chief Economic Advisor to the President. The President's spokesman, Femi Adesina, confirmed the development in a statement. Salami, 59, Chairman of the Presidential Economic Advisory Council, is also the Managing Director and Head Market Practice at Kaino Edge Consulting Limited. Salami, a 1989 doctorate degree economics graduate of Queen Mary College, University of London, is a member of the adjunct faculty at the Lagos Business School, Pan-African or Pan-Atlantic University, where he recently attained the rank of Senior Fellow Associate Professor. According to the statement, the Chief Economic Advisor to the President is expected to address all issues on the domestic economy and present views on them to the President. He is also expected to closely monitor national and international development and develop appropriate policy responses, develop and recommend to the President national economic policies, and to foster macroeconomic stability, promote growth, create jobs, and eradicate poverty, among others. Away from there now, over $4.9 billion was attracted by Africa as investment deals, and Nigeria accounted for the lion's share compared to funds received by other countries on the continent, a news report has shown. Nigeria top South Africa, Kenya, and Egypt in the boardroom deals, which has split it into unannounced, disclosed funding of $4.65 billion and undisclosed deals, of which accounted for about $300 million. This brought the total investment deals into Africa to $4.9 billion, according to African Investment Report 2021 by Brita Bridges, which used data sourced from investors. The $4.9 billion was secured in more than 480 deals, which was led by Nigeria on the country segment and financial technology on the market category. And now the Central Bank of Nigeria has assured the capital base of deposit money banks and their cash positions remain strong. Both financial sector indicators, banks' liquidity positions and capital adequacy ratio were certified okay by the Apex Bank, while announcing a decline in non-performing loans, also called bad loans. The Apex Bank said moderation in non-performing loans followed improved risk management practices, and the lenders with the industry liquidity ratio growing from 41.39% as at end October 2021 compared with 35.56% at end October 2020. A member of the CBN-led Monetary Policy Committee, Aliyu Ahmed, confirmed the banking sector position in his personal notes at the last MPC meeting posted on the CBN's website. And now the international oil benchmark Brent crude rose to $80 per barrel mark on Tuesday after the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its Russia-led partners approved another 400,000 barrels per day hike in production quotas. Brent, against which Nigeria's oil is priced, jumped by $1.24 to $80.22 per barrel as of earlier 6 a.m. Nigerian time on Tuesday. Nigeria's oil production quota for January was increased to 1.68 million barrels per day from 1.67 million barrels per day in December. In affirming the output increase for February, the OPEC Plus alliance signaled continued confidence that the Omicron variant will have a smaller impact on global oil demand than previously assumed, and crude prices have so far proved resilient, hovering around $80, while S&P Global Platts reported on Tuesday. And now Nigeria's external reserve rose by $5.15 billion in 2021 to close at $40.52 billion as of 31st December 2021, representing a 14.45% compared to $35.37 billion recorded as of the end of the previous year. This is according to data obtained from the daily tracker of the Central Bank of Nigeria. The gain recorded in the country's reserve level is majorly attributed to the $4 billion Eurobond secured by the federal government in September, which saw the reserve surpassed $41 billion in October 2021. Nigeria also secured a $3.35 billion IMF facility under the special drawing rights in the review year, which also served as a boost for the reserves. The external reserve has been a major buffer for the central bank in defending the country's exchange rate by intervening in the official investors and exporters window. The National Coordinator, National Social Safety Net Coordinating Office, APERA LOA, has disclosed that women make up 98% of the beneficiaries of the 5,000 Naira monthly cash transfers to poor and vulnerable Nigerians. This agency, which is under the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, coordinates the National Social Safety Net Program, which is designed to help tackle the issue of poverty in the country. It said, and I quote, "If you give the money to the woman of the house, you get fed. We do not decide for the family. The family will sit together and decide who should be the beneficiary, who should collect the 5,000 Naira on behalf of the family. A good number of the family picks the wife to be the beneficiary. About 89% of the beneficiaries are women on behalf of the families." End quote. You're watching Business Now, coming to you live from our studios. Still to come, telecommunications giant Airtel Africa has announced the sale of assets to a Tanzanian joint venture company. We'll bring you details and more business news after this commercial break. Please stay with us.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery. Ooh.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
Powerful looks command respect, they say. The perfect body, the perfect grooming, and ultimately the perfect skin. Looks, style, and grooming makes the ultimate man. I've found a ridiculously easy way to make my skin always feel epic. My name is Neo. I found Blemiviv, and now my skin finally makes sense.
If you've just joined us, this is Business Now, coming to you live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital. It's time to flip over to Africa now. Telecommunications giant Airtel Africa has announced the sale of assets to a Tanzanian joint venture company. The transaction was disclosed in a notice filed with the exchange, announcing the first closing of the transaction, which is to sell its telecommunications tower asset in Tanzania to a joint venture company that is owned by a wholly owned subsidiary of SBA Communications Corporation and Paradigm Infrastructure Limited. The transaction has been estimated to generate around $176.1 million as gross consideration, of which $159 million has been paid, with the balance payable in installments upon the completion of the transfer for the remaining towers to the joint venture company, which is regarded as the purchaser. As part of the terms, Airtel Africa's subsidiary in Tanzania is expected to continue developing, maintaining, and operating its equipment on the towers under separate lease arrangement, largely made in local currencies, with the joint venture company. And now Algeria's state-owned oil and gas groups Sonatrach has announced intentions to invest $40 billion between 2022 and 2026 in oil exploration, production and refining, and gas exploration and extraction as well. CEO Taufik Haka said the company's investment plan between 2022 and 2026 is about $40 billion, including $8 billion in 2022. Haka added that 1/3 of the investment will involve foreign partners. According to him, the largest share will be devoted to exploration, production, to preserve the production capacities, as well as to project its refining to meet the national demand for fuel. Away from there now, Senegal President Macky Sall on Tuesday laid the foundation stone for the construction of a $1.13 billion deep water port being developed by Dubai state-owned port operator DP World at Ndayane, around 50 kilometers south of the capital Dakar. DP World Dakar, a joint venture between the Dubai-based logistics provider and the Port Authority of Dakar, is the biggest private investment in the West African country. DP World has said the first phase will include 840 meters of quay and a 5 kilometers marine channel designed to handle 366-meter vessels, with a second phase adding about 410 meters of container and further dredging to handle 400-meter vessels. And it's time to flip over to foreign scene now. China mobile shares have risen as they started trading in Shanghai after raising $7.7 billion in China's biggest public offering in a decade. The shares opened 9.4% higher before easing back in morning trade. China Mobile's smaller rivals, China Telecom and China Unicom, have already made the move to their home country. The three firms were delisted from the New York Stock Exchange after a Trump-era decision to restrict investment in Chinese technology companies. China Mobile's Hong Kong-listed shares also rose in early trade after the company said it will press ahead with the plan to buy back up to 2.05 billion shares worth nearly $13 billion. Interesting there. We're from there now. Toyota Motor Corp has for the first time overtaken General Motors company as the U.S. top-selling car company by annual sales, a change prompted largely by a global computer chips shortage that dealt an uneven blow to the car business. General Motors lost the top slot of top-selling automaker in the U.S. against the Japanese giant Toyota Motor. The Japanese automaker, which for decades now has worked to expand its presence in the U.S., outsold General Motors by roughly 114,000 vehicles in 2021. Toyota's total U.S. sales of 2.3 million rose about 10% compared with the 2020, the company has said. General Motors delivered 2.2 million vehicles in 2021, while Toyota sold about 2.3 million vehicles in the U.S. last year. And on Tuesday, a jury in California court convicted Elizabeth Holmes, the former billionaire and CEO of the startup Theranos, on 4 of 7 counts of criminal fraud for lying about her company and its capabilities for years in order to bilk investors of the money. After deliberating for 50 hours over 7 days in the trial that lasted for 3 months, the 12-person jury returned a guilty verdict against Holmes on 3 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud against investors. The jury was unable to reach a verdict on 3 charges of fraud against patients. In reaching the verdict, the jury rejected the defense claim that she was a captive victim of an abusive relationship with her partner and boyfriend, Theranos COO Ramesh Sonny Bawani. You're still watching Business Now, coming to you live from our studios here in Lagos. Up next is Entertainment Business.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment Business. I am Michelle Abanum. Warren Buffett's out-of-character bet on Apple may end up being one of his best investments, making more than $120 billion on paper as the tech giant shattered yet another record to top a $3 trillion market valuation this week. Berkshire Hathaway began buying Apple stock in 2016, and by mid-2018, the conglomerate accumulated 5% ownership of the iPhone maker, a stake that cost $36 billion. Flash forward to 2022, and the Apple investment is now worth $116 billion, as the massive rally extended into the new year. Other Apple's giant appreciation in share price, it has also been lucrative bets for Berkshire because of its hefty payouts. Berkshire has enjoyed regular dividends averaging about $775 million annually. Moving on, a federal judge in Los Angeles has dismissed a lawsuit by a man who said the grunge rock group Nirvana sexually exploited him by putting a photo of him as a naked 4-month-old baby on the cover of its classic 1991 album, Nevermind. In his lawsuit filed last August, by then age 30, claimed he had suffered lifelong damages from the album cover, which depicted him swimming naked towards dollar bill pierced with a fish hook. Elle then sought at least $150,000 in damages from each of several defendants, including Universal Music Group Nirvana drummer and Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl. Nevermind is one of the best-selling albums ever, with sales topping 30 million worldwide. It features Nirvana's signature song, Smell Like Teen Spirit. Next, Warner Music Group's publishing unit has bought late British rock star David Bowie's entire catalogue spanning 6 decades, including hits such as Heroes and Let's Dance. Warner Music did not disclose the financial terms of the deal in its announcement on Monday, but a person familiar with the matter said the purchase was worth over $250 million. Bowie, who pushed the boundaries of music and his own sanity to produce some of the most innovative songs of his generation, died in 2016, aged 69. The deal between Bowie's estate and the Warner Music includes songs from the 26 studio albums released during his lifetime, as well as the posthumous studio album release, Toy. Bowie's estate had in September signed a deal that gave Warner Music global rights to the artist's catalogue from 1968 through 2060. And that's it on Entertainment Business. I am Michelle Abanum.
All right, coming up now is Sport Business.
3 months after purchasing an 80% stake in the Premier League's Newcastle United for $409 million, Saudi Arabia's public investment fund is nearing a purchase of Italian Serie A's Inter Milan for $1 billion. The deal is expected to be announced in the coming days. Suning Holdings Group acquired a 70% stake in the team in 2016, but the owners have searched for an additional investor since 2019. Despite winning the domestic title in 2020, the club roughly lost $285 million in the 2020-2021 financial year. The team continues to lose $15 million each month. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund manages over $430 billion in assets and is run by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The PIF is also reportedly in talks with Ligue 1's Marseille and a Brazilian club. And still talking sports business, London-based investment firm Sports Republic, backed by Serbian billionaire Dragan Solak, has purchased the controlling stake in Southampton Football Club, the club has confirmed. The group reportedly purchased the stake for $135 million from Chinese businessman Gao Jinsheng, who has owned it since 2017. The deal empowers Southampton to improve its operations at every level with the possibility of signing top players. Minority owner Katharina Lebier will maintain a stake in the club. And still talking sports business, Group 1 Holdings, the parent company of martial arts platform One Championship, has raised $150 million in a funding round. One, a Singapore-based sports media property and mixed martial arts promoter, reportedly plans to use the money to continue expanding the league outside of Asia. The round was led by Good Game Investments, part of Good Game's partners, and the Qatar Investment Authority, the nation's sovereign wealth fund. Group 1 Holdings, which also includes gaming network One Esports, is already a major force in the international sports scene as it broadcasts to more than 150 countries. The organization reportedly wants to bring One Championship into the US market, where it will likely compete with UFC. And that's it on Sports Business. I'm Samson Oleide.
Well, and that's all we have for you on Business Now. Many thanks for watching. I am Franco Malape. Bye for now.